Hi, I'm Paul Seal from codeshare.co.uk, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to use Umbraco CMS with React. So I did this for a talk that I did at Notch.js in Nottingham, and it was last month. Unfortunately, not many people turned up. I was competing with Pancake Day, and also there was another event in Nottingham as well, so a lot of people didn't turn up. So I put a lot of effort into this for this demo that I wanted to show to the members there, but unfortunately they didn't get to see it. So this video, I'm going to do a short version of the talk to show people that couldn't make it, and also to my viewers who are interested in Umbraco and maybe interested in React. So Umbraco and React, let's just go through this talk then and just see. So about me, you probably know I'm Paul Seal. I'm a web developer at Media Maker in Beeston near Nottingham. My preferred stack is ASP.NET MVC, and I've got a website, codeshare.co.uk. I say it at the beginning of all my videos, as you probably know. So in this session, you'll get an insight into what Umbraco CMS is, how we use Umbraco REST API, how React can use the Umbraco REST API, and other uses for the REST API, and give away some free t-shirts. That's what I did at the talk. So those that didn't turn up, you missed out on some free Umbraco t-shirts. They are pretty cool, actually. So what is Umbraco? It's a content management system. You might have heard of a content management system, the likes of WordPress. Half of the sites on the internet are WordPress. I don't know, that's a random fact I've made up, but Drupal, Joomla, lots of other ones. It's created by Niels Hartvig in Denmark. I got to meet Niels, who's really nice. It's free to use. It's open source, so the actual source code for this content management system is on GitHub, and you can contribute to it, and you can do pull requests, raise issues, things like that. The admin section is built using Angular, so that was relevant to my JavaScript audience of, well, I'm not going to say how many bothered to turn up. It works with MySQL, SQL Compact, and SQL Server, and I think it also works with Azure SQL as well, so when you do your install, you can choose one of those. There are 443,000 active installs worldwide, and this was a month ago when I did the talk, so it might have increased since then. And over 220,000 active community members, so it's quite a large community, and it's surprising how known it is as well to people who I talk to. And there are at least 320 free packages that you can install that do all sorts of things. I've done a few packages. I really enjoy making packages. Quiz time. I'm going to skip the quiz time. Yeah. That was for the free t-shirts. So what are the benefits of using Umbraco? So you've got the benefits. You can sort and reorder your content. So you can create pages, sort them nice and easily, and that will happen on the front end. You can use the scheduled publish and unpublish features that they've got, which is really handy. It's got good user permissions, so you can slice and dice the permissions in any which way you want. Maybe just restrict someone to a certain area of the site, or certain permissions in terms of they can create items but they can't publish. There's loads of different permissions that we could go into, but I'm not going to. It's available in the cloud, so you can go onto umbraco.com, and right at the top of the page in there's an email box. If you put that in, you can set up a quick site in Umbraco yourself and have a play with it, see what it's like. Especially if you install the starter kit with it as well, you get to see. You can organise media in folders, so a good benefit of this is that you can move them around the folders and it doesn't affect the path of the file, which it might do with other content management systems, I'm not sure. It's got simple interface, so it's really nice and easy to use. Our director, when we started using Umbraco, he wanted to actually add some of the content in our clients' websites because he enjoyed using it. Non-technical writers and editors can use it, so if you think, like, maybe in the terms of a React website, maybe this is one that's maintained by a developer, well, this opens it up. If you put the content part into a content management system, now all of a sudden it's not just the developer who needs to update it, because they're the ones who know HTML and CSS and things like that. Now you can leave that up to the content editors and things like that. So they've just got the role of the content, and it can be away from the actual build part of it. User permissions, I put it on twice, yeah, notice that in the talk as well. Friendly CMS, so when you go onto the forum, it's not like Stack Overflow where if you don't spend an hour preparing your question and writing it correctly, they're going to jump on you and have a go at you for doing it wrong. It's not like that. It's really friendly community on ourumbraco.org. But also there's a Slack channel for it, and just the people that tend to work with Umbraco have got that culture built into them. So it's a friendly CMS, and it is enjoyable to use. I like using Umbraco. I would say I love using Umbraco, actually. It's just good for building content managed websites, but not only that, as you will see, it's for other things as well. So a working example using React. So look at the demo React website. So what I did for this, I spent about a month preparing for this talk. This is my big chance to do my first talk, and that demo was to rebuild the website that they currently have for the meetup. So I made it about them. So this is the notchjs.org website. I'm on there, look. And this is built in GitHub Pages. So it's maintained by developers, and they write the content using Markdown. So they put on what the speakers, what the talk's going to be, who are the speakers, and a bit of a bio for the speakers. You've got links to their speakers, different things here. And also you've got the sponsors with links to the sponsors pages. So this is the actual live website. And what I did for my demo was build this website, which looks like the other one. So this is built in React, and I'm not very strong with React. I used Create React App. If you've not used that before, then if you're new to React, that's what you should use. I used Create React App, and I used Umbraco, and I merged them together, and I made the Notch.js website in a single page application using React and Umbraco. So how did I do that? Well, that's the two. There's a slight difference in sizing for columns and things like that, because I made them all same width. But it all works the same. So I was really pleased with it. And when I showed it to them at Notch.js, they were really pleased with it too. And they said they could even think about using it for the live site. I've not heard anything since from them, so I don't know if they will. Anyway, moving on. So, Umbraco, content management system. So, what's the benefit of doing this? Well, the benefit is, say if you like to build using React, so you want your website using React code, but you want the content managed elsewhere, this is it. So this is what they would log into. So your content editors would log into a separate site in the Umbraco administration area. So this is editing the content for the homepage. So let's have a look at here. We've got 34A Stony Street there. That's the address of where the meetup is held. So I can change content like that, maybe put an extra line in Nottinghamshire. Oh. Nottinghamshire. And then save and publish that. And then we'll see on my React version of it, I've easily added that in. So I might have had to do a commit on GitHub to get that on. So if I was doing it on the other way, on the actual live site. So that was a quick change, easily done in this separate standalone website. This, I was hard coding it, but I even made it look at the next event and use that. Pop-up content, so there is a pop-up on here. So if you click on this, so I've actually done it so you can edit the content for that as well. And then you've got the sponsors. So I've used nested content, which is part of Umbraco. Got the sponsor name, URL, and the logo URL. Now, I've cheated slightly with this, with the media. This Umbraco REST API is in its infancy, so it's not quite version 1 yet. But basically, I just went into sponsors. So I uploaded images. It's quite easy to just drag and drop images, and it uploads it. And when you've done that, you get a URL for it as well. So if you go to properties, I basically use that URL and put it in a text box. Remember, this is just a demo that I spent ages on. So you can do things like that, and with nested content you can reorder. So let's put Mozilla as the first sponsor on the homepage now, and close that, refresh it. So this is the sorting and reordering benefit that I was talking about. And with Umbraco as well, you've got the publish at and unpublish at, so they've got features like that. You can use Umbraco as a MVC website, and that's the natural way to use it. But this way, it was just using it in a headless way, so that we could put the front end totally separate. So that's on the home page, and then on the footer, I've got some more things for the content. So again, it's just using the rich text editor to edit these content blocks. Let's move along. So we've got links, RSVP on Meetup and that lot. So what I did was I configured these to work with the content of the Meetup. So it's picked up the date and what have you, and then you can do the add to calendar. And also you've got a link to the Meetup, so you can go to there. So you're probably more interested in how I did it rather than what the content of the site is. So if I just go into this and open up Knots.js. So I started off by getting the index. I basically viewed the source of the Knots.js website. I then created an index HTML. Well, I edited the one that you get with a Create React app. So I installed Node, an npm, blah, 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 created this React app, and then I edited the index HTML file to have the same source as what was on the live site. And then I just started to make little React components for the different parts of the site. So I've got an app.js, which is essentially the main part of the site. So I've then added the other components like the footer, the event list, the instructions, the pop-up, the logo as separate components. So in this app.js file, I basically return the outer part here, and I start to load in the address, the sponsors, and the event list, and the instructions, the footer, and the pop-up. Now, where do I get the data from? Well, what we do here is we've got a method here for component did mount, and I basically got a method where I get the access token. I call this method to get the access token, and then I use that token to get the content for home. So you're thinking, well, where's that? How's it doing that? So let's have a quick look into the code for that. So Umbraco API. So get access token. So it basically calls my URL for the auth token. So if I open up Postman, and we can see here there is a post. So in the headers, content type is URL encoded, accept JSON, and in the body, I'm sending in the username and password. If I click on send, the output returns me an access token that I can use. So that is just the token, and then if you saw in the code it was .then. So then I used that code, I used that token in the next request, which just calls the home page, and in the headers I pass in the bearer token. Oh, it's playing up now. Oh, hello. And then I click send, and then I get to see the content now. So this is what comes back from Umbraco, from the REST APIs that you get with Umbraco. So you get this, I think it's something to do with HAL, H-A-L format, but basically the idea is you get some links that you can also then use to call to get further information. You get the content about the home page. So these are all the properties that are on the home page that are built into Umbraco, but also the custom properties that I've added on, such as pop-up content, address, next event time, yellow block 1, and things like that, and the sponsors. So the sponsors list, you know how I dragged and dropped them, reorder them, and add new ones. That all gets stored as JSON. So all of this content is in one big JSON response. So I can then use that. So I'm calling the API, I'm getting back that content. So if we go back to app.js, I call get home content, and get home content, then I say, right, my content for this homepage is this part here, which relates to embedded content and then properties. So that's what I'm using, and I'm using that information and I'm passing it into all of these things here. So I put it into state up here, state.content and state.sponsors. I put it into state and I pass it into these user controls. So not user controls, sorry, we're not on WinForms anymore, web forms. So if we look at the address component that I created, so it has got some properties, and in the properties, the data I've got as address. So let's have a look. Yep, we've got address here. So that's how we're using the address one on this address component. And you've got an event gets passed through its properties, and again I'm just returning this. And I've also done it on some of these where if we don't have the data yet, I'll just return loading, and then when it's got the data, it will then, like this one, will do a map. So basically a for each, loop through the items in the array of events and call the event item component to render that event. So that's how I'm rendering that in a list. And it's just repeating this same sort of logic throughout. So again, from the app.js, I passed in the content that they were interested in. And most of the time I was lazy and I didn't focus it down on a specific area of content. I just passed in the full content part through, like for pop-up, I just passed in that content. And then from that, I just pick up pop-up content. So again, if we look at this here, that's what that one's picking up. So let's go back to here. So look at the demo, compare it to the live site. It looks pretty similar. Edit the content using Umbraco. Reorder, create a new event. We could create a new event if you like. Let's just, I'm not going to create a new event. It's just quicker not to. Delete an event, so you can, the benefits of Umbraco, you can create pages, delete them. There's got a recycle bin, so you can restore things. It's got a rollback history, so maybe last week something you created or you edited, you were happy with it then. Someone's come in since and edited the content, you're not happy. You can choose different versions to roll back to, so it's pretty good. So yeah, we've talked about the Umbraco authorization. So again, you get the access token by calling the Umbraco OAuth token. Now if we go into Visual Studio, I'll just show you what we set up for this. So it is, we did a bit of middleware, Umbraco OWin. So there's some documentation on our Umbraco site that shows you how to do this, and there's a good blog post by Marcin. He's from Poland and he's a speaker. He works for Cogworks and he's a speaker as well. And he helped me prepare for this meetup. And he wrote a really good blog post for 24 days in Umbraco. I think it was in 2015. And it was about Umbraco REST API. So he'll help you get set up in Visual Studio in your Umbraco application to allow the authorization and enable the APIs. So you install a NuGet package as well for the REST API. So I won't go into that on this video. So yeah, this is the call that we did for getting the content. So it calls this URL and it gets the content from the home page, and it sets in the state, the content and the sponsors bit. Like, I did that sponsors because I was trying to just focus it down onto this part, but essentially it's just using this and then just focused onto .sponsors. So we've had a look at the data, we've used Postman, we've got a token, We use the token in a request. We've looked at the links for the different information. So when I talk about that, there is things like here that's the link for itself. That's the link for the root node. There's some metadata that you can get about this item, like last edited and things like, I think it's like that. You can also find the children of an item by calling this children URL. So that's what we do for the events one. So if we have a look at this, if we go onto the event list, we actually call, I've just, for this demo, I've hard coded the ID of the events page and said to call the children. So that's how we get the content for the children there. So there's endless possibilities now. Now that we are opening up this Umbraco content via an API endpoint, there are many things that we can do. So one of the things, you could create a React Native app. So we've done it in React. Maybe we could use React Native to actually make a mobile app that the content is powered by Umbraco. We could use it for content for an Alexa skill. Maybe you want your Alexa to work with certain commands, certain things to say, but actually what it responds with, you can control in an API endpoint that it will call to say, what shall I say next? And it can reply with the content that you've put in using Umbraco. So that might be useful. Ionic app, similar to a React Native app. A Cortana skill, similar to the Alexa skill. And in hotel information screens, so one of the Umbraco community, Carol Logan, I think she told me, or she did a blog post saying how she manages the content for hotel information screens, and she wrote her own API endpoints for that. So I just thought that was pretty cool, actually, a good use of it. So let's review the objectives from this session. You should have learned what is Umbraco CMS. So I think you've learned that, let's be honest. How the Umbraco REST API works, you sort of have seen it. If you're not too sure, you want to look in deeper, I have actually put it on GitHub. So let's go to Chrome and I'll just show you. So it is in GitHub here, github.com/prjseal/notsjs.org. So this is it, and in here you've got the Umbraco build and you've got the React build. So you can dig into the code and have a play and change it and do what you want to do with it. We've learned how React can use the Umbraco REST API, and we've learned other users for the Umbraco REST API. And I gave away some free t-shirts. You didn't come to the meetup, it's your hard luck. So I just want to thank Marcin Zajkowski for helping me. And if you follow that link, you'll get to his 24 days REST API blog post that he did. Matt Simpson, who works with me at Media Maker, he helped me get set up with the Create React app. I basically started on my own and he helped me out with quite a few different bits, especially for getting the content from Umbraco and parsing the JSON and things like that. So he was really helpful. So then there's some links. So I've got a link there for the GitHub, my blog, and Umbraco. So I'll put these links in the video description as well. So that's it. That's how I used Umbraco and React together to make a website. So thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please click on like and subscribe to my channel. I've got quite a lot of subscribers now. I think I'm getting towards 1,300 subscribers, so that's really good. I'm really pleased with that. And if you're interested in learning Umbraco, check out some of my playlists. I've basically done a couple of series on how to build a website using Umbraco. So if you want to learn that, have a look for those. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next video. Okay, bye.